Hey everybody, welcome over to the channel. On for True Tuesday, if you're coming over here from Lisa's channel, which where the first part of the show is, welcome. If you're watching on my channel later, which most of the views are, you can head over to Lisa's channel and watch the first part over there. Welcome, Lisa, to your home away from home, Satoshi Sean's channel.
That's right. So on the first part, we started talking about, and we showed the video of the newest prime minister at the UK, which on my birthday video, on my birthday video, we had Crypto Chris Card jumped in, and because I shared the link for people to jump in and say hi, and he's in the UK, and he said, he called, he's like, oh, I imagine a WEFer. Oh, am I in the show or is Sean out of the show? I don't know if I'm here or if Sean's here. I think I'm here. Anyway, it says I'm in the show, but I don't know if I am. I'll keep talking in case I am. Anyway, Crypto Curse Card was there and said that he pretty much called it, and he's like, they'll send in a WEFer. And they did. And so we showed the video where he was talking about, basically he started talking about money and how the government will, change or looking all the benefits of the CBDC. And then he started talking about G7. And then towards the end of the comment, he's like, he made an announcement about this and that. And then G7 will be making the decision. And it was pretty strange.
I thought it was really weird because it got me thinking about growing up. And there's this Family Guy video. I wanted to have a clip because I knew we were going to talk about this. I wanted to have it ready. I should have. But it was when it was like some South American thing, and these like people were assassins, and the CIA guy's like, "Man, your money's really gay. It's like pink and purple and everything." And then these assassins were like, "Wow, man, our money really is gay." And I remember going to Europe and like all this, it's like not real, and
it doesn't look like what we've been raised with in America.
Yeah, it's like that's not what money is. And plus it looks like Monopoly money. It's it's bright colored and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So but it's very real to them. And you look at it, it's like, oh, this is worthless. But then like, oh no, that's worth, like a lot of money. And then some things you think are like super, it's like, oh, this is like 10,000 whatever, squatchies. Like, oh, that's only worth, $1.80. So it's hard to know. But especially like in Germany, we had Marx.
I can't reach a lot of my worthless money, but I have like this one. I have a million, or is this 100? I think it's 1 million.
That's a million.
No, this is 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000
pesos in Bolivian pesos. But it looks very like, pretty pink.
Or Mexican pesos. I mean, that was like, that's the only thing I ever had any kind of.
Right now, our inflation is higher than Mexico. I saw on a.
That's crazy. Or like lira, Italian lira was crazy because it was like, so many lira for $1. But I've seen in my lifetime in certain countries where, this is money. This is what you have greed for. This is what people kill their family members for. This is what people will do, debase themselves for. This is money, this is cash.
Yeah, Hillary shipped plane loads over.
But then one day something happens and they switch. And this is just paper. It's worthless. You have until, Thursday to turn in all your money at the bank and get the new money. This is what's worth it now. This is what you'll kill your family members for. This is what you'll, debase yourself for. This is this stuff here. And
well, even in the UK recently, they had them turn in all their dollars by, wasn't it the end of September or something? For the new polymer
Well, everywhere in Europe
dollar?
had to turn in their money for pound or for
It's a new polymer dollar
what is the
or
EU?
pound
Euros.
or whatever.
So all
Euro.
those countries that had all this money, they had to turn in. It all becomes just worthless. It's
Hmm.
all absolutely worthless because you got to go to euros, and it doesn't take much. It's not like the League of Nations didn't fail or all these other things failed. The EU could easily fail, and then all of a sudden now every country has their own money again, and euros are just worthless paper. And we haven't really seen that. Me and Lisa were talking about that in the United States in our lifetimes. It's happened. There was like silver dollars was backed by silver for a while, and we've
Right.
had different kinds of currencies that,
Greenbacks,
that you had to turn in, and
silver certificates, and
silver
greenbacks.
certificates. So
Yeah.
we've had that in the United States, but not in our lifetime. But
Hmm.
I think that is something that could come with a CBDC. There could be a the CBDC is issued, and you have to turn in all of your dollars, all of your cash,
And
in
you only
order,
have so much time
and
to
you
do
only have
it.
so much time. And think about that. Think about having a briefcase full of $100 bills, like from the movies, and it's just worthless. That's not.
And if you don't, that's their way of, that could be their way of knowing, tracking what you have. Then, well, if, because after this date, you either turn it in where they can track and they know what
Exactly.
everybody has, or
Exactly. So if
otherwise
you have two
you
million
can't use
dollars
it in the system.
that you've got
You
buried in the
can't turn it in
backyard,
past that.
if
You
you
won't get
don't get it
credit for
turned
it.
in, you don't have $2 million anymore. It's just paper. So
But
you're
then
gonna have.
wouldn't those dollars then find like a secondary market? Don't you think?
What do you mean?
I'm just thinking of like things that happen, like, the SEC swatted Veritasium and destroyed Veritasium, the company. But the token lived on. They didn't mention the token, and the token lived on. The token went on to have in a secondary market to have value. And there's many other examples of that.
Well, if you have a bunch of money, if you don't trust the banks and all that, and you have $80,000, $100,000, literally like in a safe at home or something like that, you have to tell the government, I have this $100,000. I've been saving it up, or I've got it from different places, or you know, and you have to tell the government, here it is. Here's all this $100,000 I have, and you turn it in, or else you lose it. It becomes absolutely worthless. So that would
I
be.
guess it did harm the thing. So I guess it does. Either way, it's going to harm the value, even
But
if it
but then they're
is.
going to know. The government will literally know all the. I mean, literally, quickly.
Yeah.
You can't hide that. So anything you've been working to hide or build up, you have to turn it in.
But would
Um,
it cause them to also operate in that system? Because would they then be forbidden to pay in cash? Would they have to operate in that same system? Because to be honest, I'm okay with like, well, I don't know that I'm okay with that. They don't have to play by the same rules as part of the problem right now.
you're
Like
you're you're
all this
saying something
money's
silly
going
though.
to.
You're saying something very silly though.
Mhm.
You have to. Everything that you do is on the ledger. Everything
Right,
that they do is going to be on a ledger, but they're the ones that have the ledger.
holding the ledger,
Exactly. They're the only ones that can look.
and it's not
Open
a
source.
decentralized open
Right.
source
Yeah,
ledger where everyone can look.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they can
And
only
those
see.
are the differences. This is what we were talking about earlier on my channel, where that's the problem, that people don't really understand the difference between that we're already on a what they're trying to push with CBDC is this digital ledger, digital money, which we're already on, but it's centralized. They have all the control and power of it. Blockchain, which is where no no single central source has the power. So it's a truth protocol. You have to be truthful and honest on the blockchain. It's a trust protocol. That's the difference.
D4V3 is here. Good to see you, bud. I am doing a crypto meme review today. Be tonight.
Oh, awesome!
A lot of them.
If you guys have memes, send to.
Yes, I don't know why I didn't get. I was waiting for D4V3 to send me some, and I looked, and he sent me like 3 weeks ago a bunch of them, but I never got notified on Telegram.
So I would love for you to do education. There's a I did not know and went down a total rabbit hole this weekend of the Pepe meme. I did not know the whole back history of that. There's like
Tell me the
documentary on it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I think I've forgotten actually.
Okay, so it's a total so it started like on 4chan. Well, it was this really nice guy who has nothing to do with any of that doing frog cartoons. But because Pepe was so easy to draw, the 4chan guys started drawing him to be this like basically like the meh face. And then they were like guys that lived in their mom's basement and they didn't want to like get a job or engage in life or whatever. Like they were just like their life was online kind of people. This was my interpretation. I am not a 4channer. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I an attorney or any of the other disclosures I'm supposed to say. So then it's like this progression where all of a sudden, like these girls and like normies started in identifying with Pepe or something, and it made the degen people crazy, and so they started making Pepe like the most, whatever would be the most like retardant to the normies. Like, so they would make him look like Hitler, or they'd make him look like just the most horrible things. So he started like having all these like white supremacy representations to try, because they were trying to push away, they were trying to like reclaim their Pepe, because these normies had been like, were like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of that kind of thing. So they were trying to make him like unattractive to the normies. So then he went through like that phase. And then the poor little guy, the poor little cartoon guy that created him is like devastated. And he's like, now Pepe is like associated with white supremacy stuff. And he had ordered all this like merch, like $50,000 worth of merch. And he's like, now I can't sell it because what if it falls in hands of white supremacy people and they really are associating with that? And I don't know, it was a crazy documentary. So you guys should go watch it. I won't finish the end of it, but for you. But it was an interesting journey to see how it all went and which way they were trying to go. And there's a fight with Alex Jones in it. Like, I don't know.
Did you hear about what the families are suing him for?
Mm-hmm.
What did you hear?
Well, are you talking about the shooter families?
Yeah, the Sandy Hook families.
Yeah, they're, I mean, millions of dollars or whatever for saying what he believes or whatever.
No.
Oh, then no, I didn't.
He was ordered to pay like $800 million.
Okay.
And they're
so this is an additional?
They're requesting $3.4 trillion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
at that point, yeah, they want the moon. They could ask for anything then at that point. Like, sure.
I thought that was insane. I don't know what's so weird about the white supremacist thing. I remember growing up. Oh, I mean, I was a kid, but I understood free speech. You know, like I thought racists and like I thought racist, but I guess it's white supremacist. But it was, I don't know if that was a word when I was a kid. I just thought racists trying
I
to
think
like
that's two
silence
different
them.
things. Well, maybe not two. They may
Back
be
then,
like
when I was a kid, I thought it was kind of all the same thing to me.
they're
But
not mutually exclusive, but
but I thought that
they're
like
not
trying to
necessarily.
silence them was like the worst thing. It's
I
like
agree.
let them talk, man. You know, because
So you know
honestly,
who the danger is in
well,
your
no, but you
community.
can you can I don't want to say argue. You can debunk it. Um, you, like my wife's family. I remember because they're super racist, and they would say like they're so different. They smell different, and they're different. You know, biologically. I'm like, no, they're not. You know, we're all humans. It's all the same. You know, like I could show you, um, but it's like saying that like Jewish people are like not 100% human. When people are allowed to talk, number one, they're gonna talk themselves into looking like an idiot. But it's very easy to have a conversation with them and just tell them the truth. When you silence them or you make it all hush hush, they're only going to whisper it to their family members. They're only going to
But
whisper it
Sean,
to
that's like
other people.
that when we had the conversation with it was one of my very first times on when you invited me on World Blockchain Roundtable, and the guy he left immediately as soon as the show was over, and he was like he had gotten one of the texts to like from Planned Parenthood and was like, meet at the Capitol, and he was like, oh yeah, I went and whatever, and they were like, I won't use trigger words or whatever, but they were like, this something happened or passed, and I think it was Greg. He said, "What was it that upset you so much? What is it that you think happened that upset you so much?" And he was like, he couldn't because he didn't really have the information.
Hmm.
If you ask him what do you think happened, the information was not given to him. He was just told be there if you care about this. And then when you ask them, well, what actually happened? They don't really know, and he's like, well, what is it that you were so upset about or that harmed you in some way? And then there was really no there. And
When people stop screaming at each other and actually talk,
mhm, have
you
a
might not
conversation.
like what people say and you might look like an idiot, but you're going to learn. I watched this.
Hmm.
It was incredible. This woman was like in the UK government, and she was talking about how they had to do this and do this because of climate change and this. And we have to, and it was like financially terrible for the country. And she said because of O2 emissions. And this guy said, well, uh, I'm going to ask you what percentage of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide? And she was like, well, I don't know. And he said, you want to turn our whole financial system upside down. You want to enact all this legislation that will be detrimental to our country in the name of fixing this problem. And you don't know that? I'm
Hmm.
not a scientist. I just tried to pull that, and he's like, no, 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 no. I'll tell you what it is. It's 0.13%. And out of the 0.13%, all of humans are only responsible for 0.032% of that.
Hmm.
So you want to, and then see, then it was like a conversation. Then it was like a debate. But just asking this basic question, shouldn't you have the information? And she's like, well, but I've heard, and that's something that I wanted to talk to you about too. That I've realized, or I've noticed, so many of these midterm elections, like the chick that's running for office in Arizona, um, DeSantis is
Harry Lake.
for it. Yeah, they're just very like no nonsense, and they call people out. She was doing an interview, and this
She's former military,
this
so
reporter said, blah blah,
I
people of color
believe.
feel this way. I was
I
like,
need to go
she
look.
goes, what do you mean people of color feel this way?
She's a reporter,
Who did
former
you
reporter.
what people of color have you talked to about that? Well, there's been studies and reports. What studies and reports? I'll look at them right now. I'll look at what are they. Well, so basically she's calling them out. And DeSantis is the same way. Any kind of question, he's like, where do you get that information from? How can you say that? What is your foundation for asking that question or saying that? And that's something that people don't do. And the biggest problem is that journalists don't do any kind of fact checking. They don't. When they ask a question, they used to have done their research. They used to have their facts, and they don't do that now. Everything is about, and it's one of the worst things is because there's no news agencies. There is, the Republicans' propaganda of Fox,
Handed. Yeah,
and
I think that's pretty.
there's the Democrat.
So Carrie Lake is former. She's not former military. She's a reporter.
Yeah, that's a big thing
Politician,
because
former news,
she talks
television news
about the
anchor.
media
But
and
she
says
used
all
to
these.
be actually like
Yeah,
a
but she talks
reporter. She
about the
used to
media
do,
like DeSantis talks about, like Trump talks about it.
yeah.
But she was part of it, so that's one thing that they really don't like, is because she has that credibility. That was like Trump when he ran. He's like, "Oh, the system is so crooked because I used it to my benefit," and like Hillary and all, they would talk crap about him. It's like, "Well, you didn't mind taking $100,000 from me, and because he said I played it, and then like, how are you getting away with not paying taxes?" It's like, that's the system, man. What do you want me to look to pay tax? You want me to try to give up my money? You mean you can complain about Bezos and you can complain about all them not paying taxes, but it's not their fault. It's not like, if you do pretty good this year, you're not going to take your deductions, you know, for the country. No, you're going to take every deduction you can get. You're going to pay a guy to try to find you as many deductions as possible. So if the system, I mean, if these people aren't paying, if things are unfair, it's not their fault. It's the broken system. And that's what needs to be fixed, not, yelling at Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and all them. I mean, they should be yelled at, but not for that reason. But yeah, someone had made, if there is a call for to turn in your money, I would get rid of it. I would buy crypto. I would buy silver. I would buy gold. I would buy anything that is that you're able to hold on to that has value. Because I don't know. I think there's a big fight coming. I think it's all gonna be coming down.
Well, I think that's that silver thing. I mean, it's not just the money thing, but there's so many other things. Other reports are coming out that we will not mention here, but, and yet they're still pushing it on the other side too. So I don't know. It's really interesting to see that.
I've got more hopium than I have in a long time because
that's encouraging.
yeah. Well, because I mean, there's so much that's being exposed and brought out. Now, there's this guy. His name's Alex something. He's on OAN, and I'd never heard of him before, and I just came across this video on YouTube. It was at Penn State, which I always wanted to go. I want to go to Penn State. I want to play football for him. But there was this huge protest.
Is that this eagle above me? Is that the Penn State Eagle?
No, that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Penn State's are the Nittany Lions. They're mountain lions, which ironically, mountain lions hate me and want to kill me. all of them. It's weird. It's some
Hmm.
kind of like universal thing. Uh, I go to if even when I was young, I go to a zoo. Zoo animals don't do anything. As soon as I would walk up, all mountain lions would go insane. They would start roaring. They would attack the bars.
Really
Yeah, I mean I would get asked to
weird.
leave. My stepdad, baboons hate him. He would,
It
there's
must be
there
some kind of energy thing you have, or
baboons. I could be standing there, baboon. Oh, hey, Mr. Baboon, hey, you with your red butt. He walk up, they would start throwing shit. I mean, they would all go
oh my
insane.
god,
They would start pounding on things, start throwing crap. It was weird. It was so
that
weird.
is
But
weird.
for me, mountain lions hate me, but I hate them. When I was I do. When I was a
That's what it is. Then they can sense it.
when I was a kid, I was like third grade. We watched this
Mhm.
movie in school, and I don't know, it's probably the teacher was being lazy, but there's this mountain lion that was like terrorizing this town, and it went after this little kid, tried to kill him, but he had a gun. He shot this shotgun and he killed it. And I didn't know I was a kid in New Jersey. We had no mountain lions, so I just thought mountain lions were these weird, crazy beasts that would terrorize town and kill people. And they are very creepy. Creepiest pictures if you can Google them. It's because mountain lions will stalk their prey, so they'll be like
Because
hikers
they're
and
cats.
well, they'll be like families out hiking or camping, and they're like taking their family picture, and then you can see like off in the corner, there's the head watching them. Or this mountain lion killed this family's kid, and then they went through the pictures, and like for days, all their pictures they started really studying him, and the mountain lion was in the background. All of them, they never knew it was there. So they're creepy as hell,
That's
and
creepy.
they will eat you. And mountain lions, they we have them in Texas. But anyway, we're getting off the topic. What was I talking about? Because mountain lions freaked me out, and that got me off the topic. What were we
I
talking
don't
about?
know. I don't know. You were distracting me with
Shit's,
your
uh,
mountain lion story.
yeah, you're talking about something about. Oh, and then you ever seen the Clint Eastwood movies? Any which way but loose, any which way
No.
but
Oh
something.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
You know
Hmm.
that monkey,
It's
the
an
orangutan.
orangutan, isn't
Yeah,
it?
orangutan
I don't
hates
think it's
me.
a monkey.
That orangutan
Oh,
hated me. He's dead now.
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, poor guy.
because he retired to Clifton Safari. We went to Clifton Safari. Everyone's around the cage. He's just sitting there like a lump of poop. And then everyone's like, "Right turn, Clyde." They're trying to give him he's just sitting there. I think he's
You're
dead.
like, leave me alone,
I
people.
walk up. He turns and looks right at me, and he spits, hits me, and I was like 13. Everyone thought it was hilarious. I was so embarrassed. I like
Yeah.
move around to the other side.
It's like when you ask the Dixie Chicks to sing Cowboy Take Me Away, and they're just like,
He turns, spits.
really?
He spit me like 4 times. So I like left. And then the park is closing. He is in his little hut. It's like concrete, completely closed. And
Hmm.
then I'm, I'm way over by the orangutans. I mean by the baboons, and I felt something hit me. I turn around. There's nothing there. And then again, and I go and look, and there's a little metal grate with the opening this big. And I walk up to it, and he hits me again. He had his eyeball on this little hole, and he was spitting through the little hole and hitting me. Clyde
Oh, that's
hated me. It's
disgusting
weird. Weird. Gave me a
and
complex. I
sad.
was like 13. I was like, why does he hate me?
But think
Why
you
does Clyde hate
probably entertained him for the day, you
me?
know?
I was probably reminded him of someone, some
Maybe.
6'1", 13-year-old kid with a beard. So
Probably.
yeah, but it was very odd, very odd.
That's funny. Ah, too crazy. No, we were talking about the how quick all the stuff's happening.
Yeah, everything is
the
happening.
silver stuff. Yeah.
Everything's happening really
And
fast. Everything seems to be
the
changing.
and the November stuff's coming up.
That's what I was about
Sorry, I
to.
had to
I
go
was going
get
to tell you.
my
I'm.
my
I want to see what
my
happens in November. I think because I thought very bad. I thought bad things were going to happen. Now
5th of
I'm not
November.
sure because
Oh, you said you had hopium. Yeah.
a lot of a lot of Democrats are talking about how there could be election fraud and how this could be this election could be stolen from them.
Really?
Yeah, I think the former
Okay,
vice
so here's
president said that.
my response to that when anybody is talking about this. Why would you expect anything else? The definition of doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity.
Hmm.
So nothing has changed. You know, Hillary thought that in 2016.
Hmm.
Uh, Trump thought it in 2020. Whether you're red or blue, nothing has changed. So if we, for this next picking session, why would you anticipate a different outcome, whether you're red or blue? I don't understand. Until something changes, I will tell you that, oh gosh, I should have shared this on my channel and I totally forgot. Did I send you the stuff that I found through Oklahoma City Airport and the
Yeah,
TSA stuff,
yeah.
the
GSA, what?
mobile
Yeah,
the mobile TSA
the
unit,
USO thing.
the USO thing, and the mobile TSA unit. So the USO thing, not so much, but it said like tens of thousands of military people coming into
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Then they start talking about they have this one new area completely blocked off. They'll open later. Then they show these mobile TSA units that are driving all over Oklahoma to sign people up for pre-check, and in these like big vans. And it's really important that everybody gets signed up for pre-check. And they have dates all leading up to the end of October, and then it stops. Then no more signups for pre-check. Could that be the new voter ID?
TSA.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I did hear about it was.
Pre-check.
I think it was Georgia, but it was on a civilian agent company or a group. They sent out a bunch of ballots, but they weren't government ballots. So they had to go on the news. Hey, these aren't government ballots. This is a just this company that's sending them out. It was very weird. Um, I think it was Georgia that did it. I don't know, but I however November goes, I think that's going to be a big
So are they saying like it doesn't matter what the
yeah,
ballot won't matter
yeah.
as
The
long
ballot
as
won't
your
matter.
ID is right?
The ballot won't
The
matter
ballot.
because it wasn't like sent by the proper authorities, because these people are like, hey, we'll just send the ballots out to everyone so they'll have them and they can turn it in, but it has to come from the right place so that you can't send in more than one.
Then what's the point of that?
What?
To make people think that they voted so that none of those
Yes,
count?
it could be that.
Like
But
a
I thought it was very odd, very odd.
that
Uh,
is really odd.
you know, something I talked with Ted about that, um, and this is old Sean. This is me. No hopium with this. The Arizona chick. She won't. The Democrat won't debate the Republican. She
Right.
refuses to go and debate her. And DeSantis just had his debate with the one guy, which it was funny because he tried to call him out, like, "Hey, don't vote for him. He's going to be president." He was like, "Are you going to sit here and tell all of Florida that you will do a full term as governor? I want you to say it if you're going to do it." And he just smiled at the guy and wouldn't answer. So, like, I mean, literally, the guy was like, "Hey, don't vote for him. He's going to probably be president." Like that, whatever, dude.
Yeah. But, and yes, Westy, I had several friends that sent me pictures of multiples.
But this is on CNN, and they were talking about, and it was weird because this is CNN, and they were like, "Yeah, DeSantis is going to kick that guy's butt." He made a lot of points about reproductive stuff, and it was still CNN, so they were like, he didn't even hit him on how he's a white supremacist or terrible, or how he likes to kill puppies. But he did well on the debate.
Well, that's what Fauci does.
But anyway, so they're saying that, but then they asked, does it really matter? And they're like, does this one in Arizona, she wouldn't even do it. And I thought about it, and I'm like, debates don't really matter anymore. We've become so entrenched, and we've become so divided as a people in the United States. It doesn't matter. And I was telling this to Ted. I said, it doesn't matter if Joe Biden goes out and rapes a chick. And I was like, well, actually, he already did that, so it didn't matter. But it also doesn't matter if Trump
murders his wife or something.
Or Trump. It doesn't matter if Trump goes out and rapes a chick.
Yeah.
Hardcore MAGA heads are going to be like, well, she was, probably was like her kink or something. I mean, they're going to make excuses. People are so divided, and with a two-party system, it's like once you pick that horse, I don't care. I'm going to vote that way. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they do. This is it. So debates don't really matter. I don't think they really matter anymore. No one is open to changing. It's gotten so terrible that I think we've gotten to the point where debates aren't a thing. I don't know if you remember Perot, but Perot was doing great because we had talked about him, a couple of shows ago. And then he picked his vice president was an admiral, and that guy was terrible. The debate, that's why he lost so much. The debate for the vice presidents, that guy was lost. He was walking around the podium and stuff. I remember watching it, as a young adult. And I thought, Perot's pretty cool. And he was saying, he was like a goofy little Trump. He was like, "Oh, you fella, you gotta get common sense, and you're doing terrible, and blah blah blah." And then he picked this dude for his vice president. And he said, "This guy's wonderful, and he may have been this like super great military dude, but he was really old, and he was like an old grandpa, and he was lost walking around the podium, and that's how he lost it. He lost that whole election because of who he picked."
But that's what our founding fathers said. There were certain things to not do, and one of those was having a two-party system.
The main thing was
the way
to have a party
they used to
party system. Period. Yeah.
The way they used to do it was whoever got the most votes was the president, and the second most votes was the vice president.
Yeah.
So they had to work together. So that way, the people's voice
totally was the people
was the most represented.
But a party system in general, it's the worst thing because you're not electing a person. You're electing, and I've made that point that it doesn't matter. Before it'd be just like, this is my wife, and these are our kids, and this is what I like to do, and my hobbies are this, and my religion, and none of it matters, dude.
I don't care about you.
I don't care if you're a Christian.
Do you represent the people?
That's one of the biggest things, dude. You can be up there, I am a Christian, and I believe in this, and I am this, and I am that. Abortion, absolutely, I'm a Democrat. But even if you're Catholic, where there's like this like rules and stuff. Well, the Catholic Church says that you have no gay, no abortion. But Democrat is my real religion.
Unless you're Nancy Pelosi, she's.
Tell me how to vote, so it's not So it doesn't matter. It does the person you're voting for doesn't matter because it's just a party, and it's gotten to be so bad where the debates don't matter. Nothing. It doesn't matter anymore. The whole system is broken. The judicial system is broken. The prison
I
system is
agree.
broken.
I
The
agree.
school system is broken. Every
I
system
agree.
is broken, and so many of them we literally had it laid out by the founding fathers. Just don't do this, and you'll be good to go. Just don't do that, but you'll be good to go. And we did everything wrong. We did everything wrong. We created the monster ourselves, and it has to be
It
destroyed.
has to break.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I gotta run, but I'm with you. I'm ready for a new start, and I think a lot of Americans are.
Please.
I think a lot of people around the world are.
Yes, and that's another thing. So many things around the world are changing.
Are global.
Yeah.
For
Everyone,
sure.
please crush the like button. Make sure you leave a
And
comment
thank you
afterwards.
for
So you're,
my flowers and my ice cream and all
yes.
my
Happy birthday.
lovely gifts for my birthday.
How are
Thank you.
the
I
mixers?
appreciate it.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. Rose lemonade. It was
Cool.
delicious.
I'm
Yeah.
glad it was good.
And
All
the
right.
chocolate ice cream was awesome too.
Good. All right. I love you. Love all
I
y'all.
love you too.
Y'all have a good
Thanks.
day. And
Thanks
remember,
everybody in the chat.
tonight the crypto meme review is going up.